Please remember that the complete information for the class that you are about to view is at elithecomputerguy.com. Not only do we have our videos there, but we have part lists, diagrams, pictures, and even complete code examples. So if you are watching this video and you want more information, please go to elithecomputerguy.com. Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli the Computer Guy, and today we're going to be doing a review of the DeckLink Quad HDMI recorder from Blackmagic Design. So I purchased this for my new Mac Pro, and if you're asking, yes, I do love my new Mac Pro. Now that I got it working properly, now that I got a good PCIe video encoder card in it, I absolutely love my Mac Pro. But anyways, we're going to be talking about this thing today. So the reason that I purchased the Mac Pro, a lot of people give me crap about it, but just so that you understand, is because of my particular workflow. So the way that I create my content is I actually have all of my video devices connected to my system. I use something called Wirecast. The video is then recorded directly onto the storage of whatever computer that I'm using. I then just pump this into Final Cut, chop some things up, and export it. So a lot of people who do video content creation, they record directly onto a camera, they take the SD card, they input that into whatever computer they're using, and they go from there. But the thing is, for me, what's very important is actually being able to get all of those individual video inputs connected to a computer at one time. So I had an iMac Pro. For 2 years, I had an iMac Pro. And let me tell you, I love my iMac Pro. No snark against the iMac Pro. The only problem with the iMac Pro is the peripherals are limited to, you get 4 USB-C or Thunderbolt connections and 4 USB 3 Type A connections, and that's it. You don't get any PCIe expansion. So when the Mac Pro came out, I was really excited because I wanted the ability to have PCIe expansion for my video inputs, right? So basically, again, with the iMac Pro, if all of the ports were used for video, I could theoretically only get about 8 video inputs. The cool part is if you get a Mac Pro with all those PCIe slots, you can get a lot of video input. So my plan at the end of the day, probably after about a year, is I don't just want 4 inputs. I actually want to get something like 8 or 12 inputs going into my computer. So I can have all kinds of different sources coming into my computer. And so as I switch around shots, I can just click buttons and get those additional shots and make life a lot easier. So the reason I brought the Blackmagic, whatever this thing's called, DeckLink Quad HDMI recorder is because this allows for 4 HDMI inputs and theoretically allows for up to 4K 60 frame per second input on all those 4. One of the reasons why I purchased this before I purchased the Magewell is because this does 4K 60 frame per second and only cost about $550. The Magewell, so this particular card, again Quad HDMI, only goes up to 1080p 60 frame per second. It cost $900. So basically, this was, less than 2/3 or whatever the cost of this. And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I don't need a lot of the fancy features. I don't need a lot of the fancy functionality. So if Blackmagic works, I'll just go with that. I've used Blackmagic in the past. I used to use their ATEM television studio for years. And again, to be clear, that was a good product for the time. I've used their other video encoding devices as time's gone by. And it's all been, it's quirky. It's quirky for its time period, but it hasn't been too bad. My experience with this, though, with the DeckLink, left a bit to be desired. So the cool thing about this is this actually does take 4K. So I couldn't actually test this at 4K 60 frame per second, but I could test it at 4K 30 frame per second. And one of the things that I will say is this does do 4K. So you can have 4 4K inputs at least 30 frames per second. And to be clear, the 4K images look beautiful. I was so excited. I was so happy because basically, I put this in, I connected my cameras, I connected everything up. And for a couple of minutes, it worked so much better than I was ever expecting, right? The image quality for this, thumbs up for image quality. But here's the problem. I started doing my videos. I started doing my videos. And then what I found was that with Wirecast, so with Mac Pro and Wirecast, it would start dropping frames. And then when this started dropping frames, the synchronization between the video and the audio would become more and more and more and more and more and more. So I went into Wirecast, did all my little troubleshooting stuff, went into Wirecast, tweaked some stuff, constrained bit rates, did some other things. It got better. It got better, right? It actually got really good. So I was like, okay, fine. Hey, good. $550. Everything seems to be working better. But then the weird part was, even when I did that, even when I constrained the bit rate, I did all this stuff, audio and video would stay in sync longer, but not in sync. So I do these very long daily blob shows. So I have a channel called the Daily Blob. Basically, when I go on the Daily Blob, I'm doing things like testing products, BSing around, stupid stuff, right? And I'll do it for hours and hours and hours. So I might do a 2-hour video over there in the Daily Blob. And one of the things that I found is when I started doing those live streams on the Daily Blob with this, audio and video would be in sync. It would be in sync. It would be in sync. But then you go to like the 1.5-hour mark, you go to like the 2-hour mark, and it's off sync again. It's off kilter. And I went through and I adjusted everything, and basically it was just being a complete pain in the butt. So I was getting frustrated. This very expensive Mac Pro here. This isn't doing what it's supposed to. So as a real IT professional, one of the questions I had to ask is this a Mac Pro problem? Is this a Wirecast problem? Or is this a device problem? So again, I've used Magewell for the last couple of years. I've used Magewell encoding devices. So I was like, you know what? I'll spend that $900 on the Magewell PCIe card, and see what happens, right? So if I install the Magewell card and Magewell is causing me the same problems, then it's the Mac or it's the Wirecast or it's something else. If it works, then we're fine. It works. It works. Hey, look. This is coming to you in Magewell. Anyways, and so the thing was, so I plugged in the Magewell and I was very excited. So I plug in the Magewell, and audio's doing good, video's doing good, so freaking excited. And then I leave for a couple hours. And see, my thought was, well, this is pretty inexpensive. So if the audio and video goes out of sync with this does have very good image quality. So what I could do is I could keep this as an additional card in my system, since I got a lot of PCIe slots. And so basically I could use the Magewell card for whenever I'm talking to the camera. So I have this shot when I'm talking to the camera. I have this shot when I'm talking to the camera. I'm going to have other shots when I'm talking to the camera. So what I was thinking is I can use Magewell for those face shots, and then maybe just use the DeckLink, since it is a lot less expensive and the image quality is very good. Maybe I could use that for the computer shot, right? So if I have multiple computers connected to the system, I can use that for the computers. That was my thought. So left this in the Mac Pro, expecting to keep it, had this in, was very excited. Came back after like 2 hours, went off to have lunch, all that, came back very happy, very excited, and my Mac Pro had rebooted, auto rebooted. It's like, what? Kernel panic. There was a kernel panic. So I was, uh-oh. So I go through, do some modifications, it always works, it just works, man. Anyway, so I go through, do some modifications, update some drivers, that kind of thing. Leave, come back after about 2 hours, rebooted itself. Kernel panic. So I unplug all the external, I unplug all the cameras, I unplug all the USB devices, whole 9 yards. So the only new thing, the only things plugged into my Mac Pro are the PCIe cards at this point. Leave for 2 hours. Kernel panic. Reboot itself. Oh, right. Well, here's the thing, right? This hadn't given me a kernel panic. With this just installed in the system on itself, again, audio went out of sync, had some other weird glitchy things, but no kernel. So I was thinking, it's the Magewell. I don't want to get it, but this is, right? Well, so then I uninstall, I pull this PCIe card out, I pull the DeckLink out, leave the Magewell in, voila! Everything fixed. Everything fine. Everything fine. So now video quality is good. So now audio and video stay in sync. Now whenever I connect everything, there's no weird quirky problems or anything like that. It just works. So there. As far as the DeckLink goes, again, it is a lot less expensive. This is like $550 versus like $900 for this. And again, the 4K version of this, well, sort of this, you only have 2 HDMI inputs at 4K 60 frames per second, and it costs you like $1,700. So this is a lot. Again, if you want 4K 60 frames per second, I mean, this is a sixth the price, because if you need 2, so you only get 2 inputs for one of the $1,700 cards. So that would cost you $3,400 for 4 4K 60 frame per second inputs, versus this, which is $550. So what you come down to, my final thing, having a Mac Pro, having a Wirecast, the issues that I had with the DeckLink. The bad parts I had with the DeckLink, I plugged in a 2018 MacBook Pro. So some people complain if you have a newer MacBook Pro, it doesn't work. What I found is if I plugged in the 2018 MacBook Pro and I didn't modify the resolution on the MacBook Pro itself before I plugged it in, or before I started Wirecast, it would actually shut down Wirecast. Wirecast, not the computer, Wirecast was shut down. So what I did is within the 2018 MacBook Pro, I then set it to, hardwired it, hard set it to 1080p. And once I hard set it to 1080p, then when I opened up Wirecast with this, it worked fine. So that was the first quirk. Then I had, again, the voice and the video getting out of sync. So that was the next quirk. One of the issues I found, somebody else could probably mess with it if they wanted to, is for some reason this did something weird to the orange color in my shirts. My oranges looked different with Blackmagic than they do with Magewell or anything else. That could be modified in post-processing or whatever, so that's something to take or leave. And then the final bit, like I say, trying to keep it in there with it Magewell, then it just kernel panicked and the Mac Pro shut down. So those are the bad parts. As I say, Blackmagic equipment is quirky, and this keeps up the reputation. The good part about this is it is a lot less expensive. Again, even from the Magewell, it's a fraction. It's a lot less expensive than even the 1080p 60 frame per second Magewell. Again, only at $550. What I can say, other than the orange, the video quality was very good. And it did 4K. Again, I couldn't test it at 60 frames per second, but it did 4K 30 fine. So I would imagine it would do 4K 60 fine. So what I would say with this is if you're somebody who does like screencasting, right? So let's say you're somebody who only is like showing images from a computer and talking over it, then I don't believe the audio lag from this thing is that bad. Like the problem you have with this with audio lag is, it's just a je suis off. It's off enough to drive you out of your mind if you're looking at somebody's lips. On the other hand, it's not off so much that if you were doing screencasting, I think anybody would notice. So what I would say is if people aren't looking at your lips, if you're doing screencasting, or maybe, again, they're not looking at your lips, maybe you're just showing things off on a table, I think maybe the Blackmagic would be good for you. So like that kind of thing. And if you're dealing with Wirecast at least, and you have computing devices plugged into this, just mess around with the settings, set the computing devices to 1080p, and see if that fixes it. Again, like I say, that's what I had to do with that 2018 MacBook Pro. And so those would be my real thoughts at the end of the day. And it's going back. The reason I'm doing this review right now is I printed up the return receipt to Amazon, and this thing is going back to an Amazon locker in about an hour or so. So again, 4K. If you need 4K going through your computer, good. If you need audio or video sync or some of this other stuff, not so good. I would argue Magewell. I will do a review of the Magewell. Again, this is the what I'm literally talking into right now. It's the Pro Capture Quad HDMI. Been using it for a few days now. I've done a lot of videos with it so far. So far, it seems good. I will wait for my review on this particular card just for like a week or two to again, as an IT professional, to verify something stupid doesn't come up. Oh no, it worked fine. Oh yeah, of course, for the first week it works great. And then after that's when everything goes to hell. I want to verify everything's working fine, but if you're getting a Mac Pro, if you're spending the money for a Mac Pro and you spent the money for Wirecast, you most likely want to go with the Magewell over this thing. So anywho, with that, this is the review. As always, I enjoy doing this video. Look forward to seeing you at the next one. Diagrams, pictures, and even complete code examples. So if you are watching this video and you want more information, please go to EliTheComputerGuy.com.